Hi, this is Diane, and I have a, have a small or a medium-sized junk journal to share with you. It has a shabby chic look to it, and I didn't feel like setting up my tripod, so I'm trying to hold the camera by my hand, which isn't working out so good so far. Hopefully I'll do better. I don't know how big it is. I'm not in my craft room. I don't have my ruler, but it's not a great big one, and it's not tiny, so a medium junk journal. It's got pink gingham on the covers and scraps of paper and a embossed cardstock with ink run over it, a little tab from a file folder. These words, life moments, were cut with my Cricut. I did this tag and glued it on, and this piece of pink netting trim from Hobby Lobby, and this lace from Hobby Lobby, and this antique looking brad from Stampin' Up! The back is just the gingham, and it's bound with my Bind-It-All with 1-inch pink rings. This is a scrap of paper from Once Upon a Time, paper from DCWV, and this is just a flashcard and a tag that I made with distressed inks, some embossing. It's a stamped image done with embossing powder, and some journaling on the back, and a pretty pale pink Recollections flower. This is packaging from Seven Gypsies something. I think it was a book cover maybe. And you can journal or put a picture there. And I glued this scrapbook paper there for journaling also. This paper is actually a double-sided color box paper that I got at Walmart. Some of the color box do say double-sided on the front, so you just have to look and see. They're very reasonably priced, and they're nice papers. They're not super thin, they're not cardstock, but they're good quality paper for junk journals and smash books. This is a doily that I folded around and stitched down, and this is a piece of cardstock that I hand cut into a fishtail banner and then put through my paper crimper. And this is a pretty lady that I downloaded and printed from the internet, and I glued some ledger paper to the back. This is a vintage flashcard. Here's some coffee-dyed copy paper, and this is just a scrap of paper that I stitched on as a pocket, and a couple of little tickets in there, and another vintage flashcard. And I had this ecru colored paper eyelet. I've had it for many years, and I forget about it. And you can't see it very well, but it's very subtle detail on this paper. And then I used a stamp on that. Here's a piece of K & Company paper. I think it was a 5x7 pad, and it was a spiral top pad, and it's got ledger paper in it. This is a coffee dyed tag. I just stitched on this little strip of cardstock, printed cardstock, to bind in. Here is a piece of Recollections paper, and I got this little, it's a tablet. It might be a post-it tablet, you know, a sticky tablet, but I glued that down. Looks like an airmail envelope. The back of that page is white, so I just inked around the edges, stamped this. I believe that's a Stampin' Up! Stamp, and then stamped that border. I can't remember the name of this stamp set. It's the same as this one. I just got it in the mail. I ordered it from Blue Moon Scraps. I like the stamp set. I think I used all the pieces in this journal just because it was a new stamp set. Here's a coffee dyed page from a shorthand textbook, and there's a piece of pink gingham, just like the paper from the cover, that I cut with my Big Shot and wrapped it around. This is a little journaling spot and a little card to tuck in there. There's another little journaling spot and a punched paper and another tag. Here's an envelope. It's a greeting card envelope. It was made to look like airmail, but it wasn't really. And I coffee dyed it and put this little scrap of paper on the flap. There's more of that pink gingham cut with the big shot, and it's got this graphic 45 tag glued to it. Here's another from another tablet I got at Hobby Lobby on clearance. It says 7 days a week. It was in their stationery department, I believe. Office supplies or stationery, but it was on clearance. This is Stampin' Up! Paper here. Here's another. I also got these at Hobby Lobby, and they are sticky notes. It's puzzle pieces, but I put them all together and taped them down for journaling. Piece of acetate and a piece of that trim from Hobby Lobby that I stitched on. And on this side I stitched on a couple of pieces of scrap paper. Some coffee dyed lined paper, and I had a doily on it when it baked, so it baked the doily design onto it. This is a game card from a Masterpiece game that I got at Salvation Army. Here's a craft colored envelope with a Fashion Lady stamp on it. I'd been looking at that stamp for a long time, and it was on clearance, I believe, at AC Moore, so I finally got it. This one is an old Stampin' Up! Stamp, and that came with it. Just some bits of ephemera attached to the flap there. Here's some lined paper. Here's another stamp from that stamp set that I can't remember the name of. I think it's got blue in the name because I ordered it from Blue Moon Scraps, and this company had blue in the name, but it doesn't have anything to do with Blue Moon Scraps except they carry their products. There's a scrap of paper and a Stampin' Up! Stamp. It's a phone booth. And then this is a page from an old book, and I put washi tape on this edge and a scrap of paper on this edge. This is a butterfly cut with a Stampin' Up! Die. A friend made that for me, and I made this tag. And this is another piece of, it's a cardstock paper that's white on one side, and it's got a smash pad paper clip to it. And on the back I just glued on some strips of paper that looks like rulers. Here's a envelope, and it's a window envelope, and I decorated it. There's another piece of the pink cardstock that went through the paper crimper, some scraps there, and another scrap down the back. And here's a piece of Prima ledger paper that I cut into the shape to fit into the pocket, put a tab on it, and it's white on the back, so I glued more ledger paper on the back. This is the ledger paper this was made from, the scrap of that. And I glued this on, a piece of scrap paper, but it's lined so it can be used for journaling, and washi tape. This came out of an old journal, a flashcard. This is 1930s office paper with a letterhead on it from the Register of Wills, Recorder of Deeds, and Clerk of the Orphans Court. And it says 1930 blank right there, so you know how old it is. Here's the back, the white back of a scrapbook paper, and I put some strips of Tim Holtz paper on it. And this is a graphic 45 punch out from one of their old paper lines. It might have been Springtime, Once Upon a Springtime, and it has these little slots to thread a ribbon or something through, so I threaded this paper through it. There we go. Lined paper with a little cutout there, and a Ferris wheel, washi tape. And there's an old Stampin' Up! Stamp there. And this is from an old composition book that I picked up at a flea market. So I did not have to age this paper. It has that nice vintage look already because it is vintage. This is K & Company paper and another fishtail banner with a Graphic 45 tag on it and 2 sizes of doilies, and it's all stitched together. And here's another pretty lady cut from the internet, or printed from the internet. And on this side, it's a tag, coffee dyed tag with journaling lines and some stamping. Here's a file folder I cut down, and then it was half of the file folder, and I cut it to size, and then folded it over to make this page. And there's some more of the pink cardstock that went through the crimper. This is Prima packaging for their vintage trinkets, and it's gridded, so you can use that for journaling. And another coffee dyed tag. This has a Tim Holtz sticker on it. And another Tim Holtz sticker up there. And this is a Tim Holtz sticker too. This page, now I cannot remember whose video, I'm sitting down now, I can't remember whose video I watched that had this folder page in it. Oh, but I wish I could remember who it was. But they also had this idea, which is a page, a book page with 2 envelopes glued to it and tags stuck in them horizontally, and I thought that was really cute. And then I punched this paper, and it didn't show up against, the holes didn't show up against this book paper, so I put this green strip behind it. I better stand up so you can see the book better. This is from a journal about books, and it says books read and date and author. So you could write, well, this is my book, so I could write about, you know, a book just like it says, or just use it for journaling for the day. Here's a piece of Prima 6x6 paper, and the back of it is all decorated with little cutouts from that Prima 6x6 paper pad. This is a little tiny envelope which I actually cut out and folded, attached little brads, and tied a string to it, and it actually has a little tag inside. Now I know this is from romance novel, and I know that it came in a 12 by 12 size, but I got the 6x6 at Hobby Lobby, so all the pieces are tiny. Another piece of scrapbook paper, and I edged it with Tim Holtz, or yeah, the Distress ink. And then this is a Stampin' Up! Doily stamp. This is a piece of that color block double-sided paper, and it's got Tim Holtz stickers on it, and that's the back. So that's my kind of shabby chic junk journal. I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed making it. I love making junk journals. So I'll be back with another video soon. Have a great day. Bye.